The following is a fan-based discussion. All properties discussed are property of Toei Inc., Bandai, Hasbro, and Tsuburaya Productions. Hello everyone, welcome back to Tokucast for another episode of Tokutalk, continuing our colors series.
What? You said like Tokutalk. So you're like, oh wow, we're just regrouting, I guess.
Freud. Let's take that again.
Gonna go ahead and regrout my tiles in my shower.
I keep it in and double it. It's fine. Tokutalk. That is the name of this series here, which you've clicked on. How you doing there, Sonny Jim? Marcus and Jacob here, continuing our color series. Today, we are talking about Black Rain, Senshi, Green Rangers, all that lovely stuff in between.
Yes.
Well, you better take it up. Apparently my brain is mush.
So, the green and blacks, after a little bit, end up becoming more interchangeable.
Mm-hmm.
So they end up sometimes filling out the same roles on their team. Sometimes they're on the same team.
I was going to say, on the occasion they're there together.
Yeah. It's just one of those things that, it depends on how the colors of the team really pair out together. Tokutalk. Anyway.
God of damn it.
Let's start with the greens because they come out first. Let's start off with, Mido Ranger. And just talking about the greens overall. The greens overall, as I can see, will sometimes end up being the second in command. Sometimes they'll end up being the youngest of the team proper. Might end up being
the green, the newbie.
Yeah, not so much talk about the Six Rangers here, so we're not going to talk about Shuriken Ranger or Dragon Ranger.
Right.
But yeah, sometimes they end up being, the one with the least amount of females in some cases.
Mm-hmm.
With Mido Ninja, Kirame Green, and Chameleon Green being the only female ones. Sometimes they'll end up being the newbie to the team. In terms of like Patron Nigo. Or Green Sai, who was the last person to join the Live Man.
Mm-hmm.
Along with Black Bison.
With was it Rhino or Bison?
Bison. Yep. Black Bison.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, Green will sometimes end up filling out their role, and Black will as well, where they'll sometimes end up being the second in command, like Jane motherfucking Griffon, or Black Mask. I believe Five Black was the second in command of the team. Can't really super speak to that. I know Mega Black was the actual leader of that team.
Mm-hmm.
Once again, they can do no wrong. And sometimes Black will end up being the outsider, like Ninja Black. Or the backstabber, like Hachioja. But yeah, a lot of the times, though, you'll also end up seeing the Black Rangers especially end up being the ones who end up butting the head the most with whoever the leader of the team is, if Black is not the leader themselves.
Yes.
Because Gosei Black did not like Alta that much at the beginning.
True.
Boken Black and Boken Red, man. That was like their whole thing.
Antagonism there.
Yeah.
The one that springs to mind, of course, the most when you say that, it's Jetman.
Yeah.
It's Black Condor and Red. Is
Red
it
Hawk.
Red Hawk. I keep confused. Falcon is Live Man.
Yeah.
Hawk is Jetman. Sorry, I confuse the two.
Also, as I said before,
my brain is mush.
Because I'll always bring it up because I love to plug his channel. Just go on Red's. He just did an interview with Boken Black.
Oh.
So, and I believe...
That's right. You had mentioned this in a previous video.
Yeah, I believe that that's been subbed by now, both parts. I know I've watched part 1.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, just go and watch that. It's, it's always fun just to hear the behind the scenes and the things that happen. Just speaking of Boken Black, because he brought this up in his interview with Go on Red, he was talking about how he does not like peas. And in one episode, he was eating fried rice, and the fried rice had peas in it, as it usually does, and he was picking them out. And so he got complaints from parents or something saying, "Please don't do this on screen.
Please show him eating his veggies."
Yeah, and the reason why he did that unconsciously, but the director actually wrote that into an episode.
Oh,
because the actor doesn't like peas.
Interesting.
So he wrote that into a later episode. The notion of
parents complaining because the character isn't eating his veggies.
So annoying.
You're encouraging picky eating habits and we don't like it. I demand a rewrite.
And they just made it an actual episode later on in the Bokenger. But yeah, the Greens end up filling out such a weird role. In some, if they're paired with a Black, like Ryuso Black and Green. They're brothers in that one, but Black is the older one, and Green ends up being the youngest.
Live Black and Green is what always springs to my mind.
Yeah, live Black and Green is
because of how they enter the story.
Yeah. As the younger brothers of the people who were killed at the beginning of the show.
As it goes in live, man.
Yeah. But the Greens on the whole tend to be like, all right, what if we were the youngest one on our team? That's the scenes like to pop up a lot. Patronico was the newest person on the team. He was also, I believe, the youngest. After Sakura and Patron Ichigo. Kirame Green, she was in high school. I mean, Judu was as well. But
Kyoryu Green as well.
Yeah, Kyoryu Green was the youngest one on that one. Gokai Green was the coward.
He was, but it was an interesting dynamic that he had with the rest of the team because the other team, they're so self-assured.
Yeah.
You know, everyone has their dynamic, and, you know, he's the team medic, he's the doctor. But I believe he was also their chef.
Yeah. And like I said, occasionally we end up having the second in command Green with Shishi Ranger. Especially. Rest in peace, Daigo. But yeah, him especially. Ginga Green was the second in command of his team. Go Green was not. He was the middle child and manned that show when he was both there and when he was in Fives as Delta. But Shinga Green was also the youngest with Kotoha. And he also butted the heads the most with Takeru. So, and
young rebellious energy. You can't tell me what to do.
Yeah, that's really what he was. Yeah. And, you know, Tokyu Yongo was, even though he was 4, he really was the most serious one on that team. And, you know, Tom Green was the outlier. That was what he was about that. The Blacks, man, do you end up getting a lot more second in command with these. And usually they're associated with strength. Like, a lot of the Black Rangers are really strong or has some other sort of special ability. Like, Dinah Black was a ninja. And it showed up a lot. Goggle Black was the same actor. I got nothing else. But, or, you know, sometimes they'll take on qualities of somebody else in case that color does not fit that archetype that the character has going with it. Like Kyoryu Blue being the more bumbling fool of that one, the bumbling old man. And Kyoryu Black being the more suave.
He's the suave, the ladies' man.
Yeah. But a lot of the times, at least from what I've seen, the Blacks are really associated with strength. The Black Rangers are really associated with strength or some sort of special ability. Hachi Ogre could speak out of both sides of his face. And Oshi Black was really strong. They also end up, weirdly enough, having, outside of the team of police officers, the most amount of police officers on the team. With both Go-On Black and Boon Black.
True.
And it's just such a weird thing that I've just noticed. But, yeah, I can't really say anything about Black Server. I know he's a high school student. I can't really say much about Five Black. They'll be coming up soon. But, yeah, it's just one of those things that I've noticed with those two colors in particular, that these sort of have more of an archetype associated with them.
Really? You think so?
Yeah,
because when I think of them, I think about the last 3 that we've done. And the first 2 especially, it's very easy to pin down what they are. Yellow runs the gamut between so many different types of characters. When it comes to Green and Black, I feel like it's even harder to pin down than it is with Yellow. It's like, I feel like they could be anything because they can be used so interchangeably. Because there will be years where we don't get a Black or we don't get a Green.
Yeah, I mean, we haven't had a Green since Kirame.
Because it's like out of your mind for so long, you're thinking like, oh, well, I guess they could do anything for this one.
It's like, it's just the way that I keep thinking about it is like Green I associate more with agility and speed. You end up having that a lot with that character specifically. Or in Sakia's case, Patron Nigo, I mean, he's the sniper of that team. With Black, I keep associating them with strength. Like, they're the big, strong man of their team. And that seems to be...
They're the muscle, they're the big guy, they're the heavy.
They're the ones that tends to fit more often than not in that particular category. I mean, Abure Black was probably the strongest one on that team outside of Red. He had the staff. He could do the most. but it's just like pure physical.
From dinosaurs.
Pure physical strength, I see a lot more with Black. I mean, of course, you end up having your outliers like Kyoryu Black, but it's also just seems to be more true. I mean, Hachioja was physically the biggest person on that team, and he was also physically the strongest one, maybe outside of Purple. Because let's face it, I think out of every other color, I think King Oger sort of ends up breaking that, where everybody was really skilled at what they did, but Purple and Black,
everyone was they were all their kings of their respective nations for a reason. They all had as the show goes along, we learn, there are powers unique to each respective king. And I think it works. And I mean, a character like Kaguragi Dibowski, and just the fact that he's like such a big, like physically imposing person.
And such a big personality.
Big personality, big voice. The costume is very loud and colorful.
Can I say, I have sort of been wanting to go back and rewatch King Oger.
I don't blame you. It's a great show.
I really want to go back and just watch the whole show as a binge.
Yeah.
And just be like, yeah. Also, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's just like, Gal Black. It's the bison. I mean, between the two bisons, it's just like, what if we were the strong one?
Mm-hmm.
And Mammoth Ranger, what if I was the strong one and also the second in command? It's just...
What if I was a Sonic character?
It was just...
I do think we need to mention Edo Brother. And how there's no other Black Ranger like him.
No. He's the criminal constantly on the run.
Just in terms of his design, in terms of his character, in terms of everything, it's unique. And it's great. And it's a dynamic we haven't seen before.
Yeah. I just really appreciate, between these two colors, it's just like, okay, I'm not going to say I know what I'm getting, because I don't always know what I'm getting. But at least with the Black Rangers, it's like, okay, I sort of know where they're going to go with this character unless they do something drastically different, like Inu Brother. And with Green, it's just like, okay, I sort of know where I'm going to go with this character. I'm going to get somebody speedy or agile or like super bendy. Or something like that.
Kirame Green definitely comes to mind for that. Because
Kirame Green.
She's the track star.
Ryuso Green. Kyoryu Green.
With his swordsmanship.
Yeah, Tokyo Yongo is a little bit outside of the norm.
I think you could actually put Gokai Green in that as well.
You could.
I think because of the way he fights, he usually always has the pair of pistols.
Yeah.
He's always like trying to stay at range and just blast away with the guns. And whenever he's like trying to evade in combat, it's less of like stylish rolls or trippy flips. It's just, I'm going to bend and contort and just try and bounce away if I can, like a slinky down a staircase.
Chameleon Green will just disappear.
Yeah, that
but
much too.
You also got to see, like,
when
the team does not have a Black, sometimes the Green will end up getting the strongman thing, like Magic Green, like Zuo Elephant, like Tokyo Yongo in some cases. And Blue, I mean, for Ginga Blue ended up taking the strongman one for there, but Ginga Green could fly.
That's an advantage.
The pose. Put a picture of the pose. Over here. But yeah, it's just one of those things where it seems like more than anything nowadays, Green will end up having its own thing, but if a Black Ranger's not there, it'll end up taking on the strong quality of the Black Ranger. At least from what I've seen. But yeah.
Yeah. I think that about does it.
Let us know who your favorite Green and Black Ranger are in the comments below.
Mm-hmm.
Don't forget to join us on all the things. We'll see you next time. Bye, everybody.
Thank you for joining this Toku Talk with us. I will bring it back around. Thank you for watching.